won't be long. Better pack them up, boys.
I want to show some things this morning before we get in. I said on Wednesday night that I was going to share some about the trip, because there are some of you that have been partnered with the trip. Just in case you don't know this, even though the church is a part of what goes, we don't take church money to make these trips. It's the traveling ministry that does that, and there are some that have partnered with these trips. By the way, just in case anybody's wondering, other than going to National Finals Rodeo for the 2 church services that we do out there, I am home until February, and and at that time I have given my word that I would go to Tanzania with Joe to do a ministers' conference and that. So we're working on that. This is a picture. You've heard me talk about the prayer camp. And if you haven't, we had 5 parcels of land there in Delta State, outside of Abusa, about probably 5 miles outside of town. And the reason it's hard for me to tell you is because they measure everything in kilometers there. So I'm not real good with that. I can tell you what Celsius the change is, simply because I like my air conditioner about 69 degrees, and so I figured out where the Celsius is. That's about 20 Celsius. So, but other than that, I can't tell you. Anyway, what we've done is we've given 5 parcels of land to Delta State. It's not changed hands, but we gave it to the people for a prayer camp. In Nigeria, they will travel 2 or 3 or 4 days, whether it's by transport, whether it's by walking, whatever it is, to go and pray. And they will not leave until they've got what they came for. Whatever it was they were going to seek God about, they will go and they will stay in that place. So some of the things that we've done that none of the other prayer camps do, what you're looking at is the bathrooms being built. None of the other prayer camps build bathrooms. They make them just go outside someplace and find their own bush. But this is another picture of the bathrooms as they're being built, I know. And the blocks on the left-hand side look like they're kind of hodgepodge. It's because they just stacked them up for this picture. They didn't have the cement to put everything together. The other blocks are cemented in the middle and not down on the inside. Go ahead and go to the next picture. This is taken from one end of the prayer camp, so it gives you an idea what 5 parcels is. 5 parcels is approximately 5 acres. And so down on the other end you can see the well that we put in. There are people coming to get water, except for today, because we had the well driller come back and pull the pump because we weren't satisfied with the amount of water that was coming out, and found out that there was a problem in the pump down there. So they are putting the pump back in. More pictures of just the fence. This fence isn't finished in the front there. And they've got to finish building those blocks up. And my understanding is that you've heard me make reference to Tony. And Scott will tell you, Tony's got arms on him like this, and he's a great big guy because and Kathleen has always called him my bodyguard, and because he travels with me when I'm in places that they think I need to have somebody. He actually competed in Mr. Universe contests, and what I found out was Tony's been going out, and when we don't have money to do the blocks, Tony's been buying the cement and doing blocks himself. And he's not asking for any money back or anything. He goes and works, and when he earns money, he goes and puts it in the prayer camp. Of course, he takes care of his family first, but you know, you can see this is if you notice the top of the wrought iron there, and this is coming up to the front of the prayer camp. You see the pointed things on top? The reason we built a fence and we've got this stuff this way is because the people have to be secure. If they don't feel secure, they're not coming. Because the back of this backs up to the bush. And people could come out of the bush, and there have been murders and different things that have happened there in Nigeria, and so not much different than any other part of the world. So, it is secure. Go ahead. Another picture of the prayer camp, and the thing that has changed here is you see that big roof down in the middle. Something else nobody has ever done in a prayer camp. There's no prayer camps in Delta State to start with. That's why we chose to do this. They were traveling 2 states away. And here's another picture of the roof. We are putting up a covering for shade, so that they don't have to come out there and just be in the sun and whatever happens. This is a picture of, and if you've been here, you've seen John Bull, one of our evangelists, that's part of the ministry there. By the way, I found out that John Bull and 2 of our other pastors have finished their Bible school that we started them on a little over a year ago. John Bull is another one who goes out there and he spends his money and he works. He also happens to work for the Department of Agriculture in Delta State, and he is able to get us at a reduced cost what it takes to get rid of this foliage, because this foliage just keeps growing, and we spray it and get rid of it so that and the other thing that's happening that nobody's ever done, I haven't figured out how we're going to mow it yet, okay? But we're planting grass, a grass strip in there for them to come and kneel on, to camp out, whatever it is. And everybody else, it's just all dirt. So we're doing some things to cause them to want to come to this. That is a picture of mine and Kathleen's office, and the little windows on the end are for air conditioners. We've already purchased a large, go ahead, because I think we're going to come to this is another picture of the office, just a different view. Go ahead. I wanted to show, I downloaded a bunch of these pictures yesterday, and I put them in here because I hadn't got to share these. Is there another picture of that's it, of the prayer camp? Okay. In where the offices are, I thought I had some pictures of the light poles, and I must have just missed them. All the way down through the middle, we've also done something that nobody else has done. And for the entire distance, we've already got the light poles up. We just have to put the lights on them. We already have a generator that's large enough that actually the ministry in Nigeria believed in half the money, and this church supported the other half of the money for the generator. And it's a generator that's large enough to run half a city. And so we'll not only be able to take care of our lights, we'll be able to have crusades out there and things, so people will come and they'll be not only secure, but they'll have light at night also in that place. Go ahead. I don't know who that guy is, but that was last Sunday morning, and just to let the air out, I didn't go to church in my pajamas, okay? I actually was going to wear that suit this morning, and I decided not to. But it's actually a very expensive suit that was a gift to me over there. And when I got here, the cleaners tried to figure out how not to melt all the sequins and things that are all over it. Go ahead. This is how you get people to come to programs. And if you haven't seen these, there's some I think there's still some in the kitchen. James was very perplexed over this particular one. I wanted you to notice that there's... how many of you saw Pastor Kathleen's post on Facebook about a week ago that said, never say it's over? She had no idea. I read that and I went, wow. Well, I do. It was significant because the theme of the crusade, both in Lagos, and this is from Togo, it was never say it's over. God is on your side. He's about you, and never say it's over. Don't count me out. That was what they kept saying. Don't count me out. God will cause me to rise up. James was perplexed over that because they spelled Kathleen's name wrong, and he told them, he spelled it for them, and they still spelled it wrong, as well as they said they made him look like a criminal by putting his picture in the back shadow. Welcome to Nigeria and how you go to work and haul lumber. They had cut the whole back out of this van and did that. Go ahead. I'll put this monkey up here for a reason. I just heard all that. Oh. Let me tell you a story about this monkey. They always look really cute, don't they? I took this picture just before he flew into our van and grabbed the banana out of Steve's hand and went out the other window. So, everything that looks cute may be the devil in disguise, and don't remember that, okay? Don't forget that, because that could be the plan. Steve was peeling a banana to eat it, and this monkey, he hit that window and went across my lap and was out the other window before you could even blink your eyes, and had the banana in his hand. Peel and all. He grabbed the whole thing. I enjoyed something different this time in Nigeria. I have one thing that I require anytime I go someplace. Get me to where we're preaching on time. Don't have me there late, and pick me up when you say you're going to pick me up. Well, the Lord taught me some things this trip. We never had a car in Nigeria this time. This happens to be a motorcycle front end. Scott's seen these little yellow things with a cloth top on them that was just enough room for James and I to sit in, and that's how we got to church one night. We flagged one of them down in, I finally told James, I said, the good thing about this is you're on that side of the deal, because the sewers are open trenches on the side of the road, and this guy was halfway on the side of the opening for a long ways. And I told James, at least I'm not going to be the one that goes in. Go ahead. You can see out the front of this. This is the driver, and I tell you, God has anointed these guys to drive. Go ahead. You can see James is deep in thought. We were kind of along that edge when he was. I took this picture, and he at least looked at me for the second picture. Go ahead. This is the speakers that we bought for the church. Remember when they got stolen about 3 months ago or 4 months ago? This was the speakers that I enjoyed getting to sit in front of. The reason I asked if the video was up there is just because I wanted you to hear the speakers. Let's just say they were very loud, but they enjoy the worship. This is the church in Lagos in one of the meetings, and James up talking to the people. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is Antonia. I told her I needed a picture of her hat. she told me that when Kathleen gets there, she's going to have her sit down and get her one of these hairdos. It only takes 6 hours to do. And she had been, of course, she has hair down almost to her waist, so it could take longer. And I was told by Pastor Kathleen that I never bring pictures of Antonia back, so I made sure I got several pictures of her. Go ahead. This is the livestock market in the middle of town, where they have all these goats they're feeding, and that's where everybody goes and gets dinner. Go ahead. This is just a picture of the inside of the church at Lagos. You do notice that there's no windows, there's no doors. I will tell you that it is secure from the rain, because one night it went to raining really, really hard in the middle of the service. This is a picture of, the reason I took this picture is two reasons. I wanted you to see how they carried babies. Everybody in Africa carries their babies this way. The other thing is she had just set this pan of pineapples down on the ground that had been on her head while she's carrying the baby. And she sat there, and the guys know that I like pineapple. And so they were blessed. This is Togo. They made sure they bought me one in Nigeria. I believe that Nigerian pineapples are the sweetest pineapples in the world. I used to think Maui Golds were the sweetest, and I just have to tell you, I wish I could buy Nigerian pineapples all the time. And then I got to Togo, and that pineapple was like candy. And I mean, it was, she sat right there and peeled it on the side of that's what she's about to do, and put it in a sack. But the guys made sure, and they checked my refrigerator all the time to make sure I didn't need another pineapple before we left. This is part of the worship team in Togo. By now we'd got to Lomé, Togo. And if you weren't here Wednesday night, I'll tell you what happened from Nigeria to Togo. The reason I'm sharing this morning is because it's important for you to understand what we do when we're there. We're not just there sleeping and things like that. You know, let me tell you, Kathleen said this morning it was hot in here, and I thought, you just don't know. Because if you didn't notice and there'll be another picture, and if you didn't notice, my hair was wet and I hadn't just got out of the shower whenever I was preaching up there. What the good news is the church in Togo has just bought one air conditioner, and next week they're buying the second air conditioner, and by the next time I get there, it's going to be air conditioned in the church, and so that's going to be really neat. This picture, I tell you, I was thinking about this, and I looked for the video because I actually took a video of this. These women, there's 4 of them there, and there's a big kneading bowl. And they're taking turns kneading the dough that's in there. And I mean, there's no stop. It's like pistons going up and down. And what I thought about when I was thinking about this is a beautiful picture of how the church works together. How the church is jointly fit together, as the word says. And I wish I don't know what happened. I actually had a Togo SIM card in my telephone, and I think maybe the video went to the SIM card because I couldn't find it when I was looking for it this morning. I didn't eat lunch at this particular place. I drank water and I watched them because I have a adversity to some of the spices that when they get here, your lips start burning. But what you see in the left-hand bowl, and you're about to see probably in the next picture, James reaching in there, and that's the dough that they make, and they just roll it up and they dip it in the food, and that's what that picture was a perfect picture, which showed me this. It showed me that when the church works together, as the word says, then what happens is the outcome is something that you want. And they all love this bread. I thought he set that bowl down there for me to try that bread, but I wasn't trying the other dish that he had. Go ahead. Keep going. Oh. You want to see a perfect picture of love and trust? Pastor Innocent's on the right-hand side and James is on the left-hand side. And I took these pictures because it was another perfect picture of how the church should be. Pastor Innocent's got a razor blade in his hand, and he's trimming Pastor James's fingernails and toenails for him with a razor blade. And I asked him, I said, don't you use clippers or anything? No, this is the way we do it. What do you mean clippers? And I saw something that was a perfect picture of love because Pastor Innocent just sat there doing it. And when he got done with his hands, he did his feet for him. And I thought James had a perfect trust of Pastor Innocent to let him handle that razor blade and do what he was doing. Go ahead. I know I saw everybody go, oh, ouch. I will tell you, he didn't nick him and he didn't cut himself. Here's the kiddie corral in the Togo church. Now, the significant thing about the kiddie corral in the Togo church is these kids were sleeping while the music was going so loud and the people were dancing. And I mean, this is the first time I'd only seen two back there, but I took this picture. They just lay a blanket and a mat out in the back, and while worship is going on, those kids are sound asleep. And I think, that's the way perfect peace should be, is when there's worship going on, I don't care how loud or how quiet it is, that we should be at perfect peace. Go ahead. James at work on Facebook, and I know that I saw several comments on different things on Facebook, but that's what he was doing. He didn't have a computer with him, so he came to my room and sat there and told me how cold it was. And I loved him so much, I turned the air conditioner off for a minute, and it didn't work the rest of the day. So I told him the next day, I said, you want a Facebook? You're just going to have to be cold. This is him and I studying together last Sunday morning before church. This man here is the second most anointed worship leader that I know. And the only reason he's the second is because we have the first. But when I walked in, his name is Nunzo, and Nunzo is so anointed. I walked into the room. I've told Nunzo before, when I do a crusade, I don't care where it's at, I want you there to do the worship. He's actually a recording artist in Africa. Used to travel and do, but he says, I asked him last week, I said, have you been traveling? And he said, no, the Lord told me to stay home and lead worship in my church. And so that's what he's doing. And I walked in, I didn't even have to look up front. I actually didn't know he was at home. And when we walked in and went into the office, I looked at James and I said, I know that voice. I'd recognize that voice anywhere. I told Nunzo while I was there, I said, if the Lord sends you to the U.S., the first church that you're going to sing in is in Weatherford, Texas. And didn't know that he was believing to get to come. And he told me later. And so I prayed with him later on that God had furnished him the finances and things to be able to come to the U.S. This was worship going on. I know the kids looked like they might be playing, but the kids were dancing. Along with, if you notice, it's the men up front that are dancing, and the women weren't even up there yet at that time. Go ahead. This is the worship band, of course, Nunzo, and then the whole worship band there. People dancing. Go ahead. This was this was two brothers and a sister. last Sunday morning, and before, I couldn't even understand what they were worshiping, what the song they were playing, but I was just to the point of bawling because the anointing that followed these three kids. Go ahead. Pastor Chibuka, he's reading. I had given my telephone to somebody and told him, said, take some pictures. At that point, I was prophesying over somebody. You see somebody standing kind of behind the pole. Go ahead. This is all in the church service last Sunday morning. And on the right-hand side of me, and I think I've got another picture of him someplace, is Pastor Nicholas, who does the interpretation. Togo is a French colony, and I don't speak French. I told him one day I might open my mouth and start talking in tongues and it come out French, but at this point, I needed him to be up there. Go ahead. This is a oil anointing service at the end of the services in Lagos and in Togo. We anointed each person with oil and just prayed a blessing over them. I don't know who the guy on the left is, but the one on the right is our overseer, Pastor James, who the next time I go, we're actually going to, I told him we needed to have an ordaining service because overseer, the word bishop means overseer. And we're going to set him out as the bishop over the ministry. James has shown great things in all the churches. He travels from church to church. The churches aren't giving him any money. He's just believing God for the money. I'm not sending him money to travel. He's believing God for the money to get from church to church, and he goes and he's there. Sometimes he preaches, and sometimes he's just there in the church service. Pastor Innocent, who is the pastor in Togo, you notice he didn't have sunglasses on. I was the only one that was blind out in the sun, so he didn't need them. And he was actually blessed me with this picture because he didn't want to give it to me. He wanted this picture for himself. This is the three of us at inside in the church service. Again, Pastor Nicholas and I during that Sunday morning service. Is that it? Pastor Nicholas, this was the one I was looking for. No, I wasn't asleep. They caught me while I was blinking my eyes, okay? Pastor Nicholas and I wanted this picture because I wanted you to have, I want you to pray for these pastors. They are no different than here. They have challenges to meet every day. They have people to minister to every day. And I saw something in Pastor Chibuka, also Pastor Nicholas and Pastor Innocent. I was sitting on the porch waiting to go to the airport on Monday night. And Pastor Nicholas rode up on his motorcycle. No, it wasn't a Harley. It was a Suzuki 250 or something, which is what most of them ride over there. Sometimes you'll see 2 or 3 people on one because some of the taxis are those, and they just 2 or 3 people get on them. He rode up, he walked into the church, he got some oil, and he walked and left. And I said, where are you going? He says, I'm going to pray for a member that needs prayer. And that's the heart of these pastors, is they're available and they're ready to be there. By the way, all but Pastor Innocent, the other 2 pastors have businesses and work jobs during the day, and the rest of their time they're at the church. So it's not a supported position; it's a volunteer position for them. If you have any more questions, I'll be glad to share with you anytime.